Good morning. I'm on a 2-minute late meeting this morning. Good morning, everyone. Hi, it's Stacy. Walking in. I didn't realize I was late this morning. Sorry. I got everything on kind of out of whack this morning. So, good morning. I'm going to have another sip of coffee. I'm sorry I'm a minute late or two. Didn't realize that I was ahead of schedule for a change and didn't stay that way as usual. Pam, I love having coffee with you every morning. So y'all gonna see my age today when we talk about this topic because it's gonna be we've only just begun. But before we do that, let me just kind of bring everybody up to speed. Behind the Service podcast, coffee conversation collaboration. I'll share the link again. It's at 10 o'clock today. Just a great bunch of women, people inspiring each other. They're always a lot of fun to be around. That's today. Do not forget Thursday night, tomorrow night, let's talk. We are having AJ Veal from the Share Initiative, military initiative from the Shepherd Spine and Brain. They have a TBI program that is phenomenal. It is grant driven, so it is phenomenal, cutting edge, one of a kind. And these are the people that Shepherds is literally one of the best when it comes to brain injuries and spinal injuries, and they're actually doing it for our veterans. So you won't want to miss AJ. Good morning, Sarah Kim, as he's talking about what all they offer. Girl, we've already realized we're the same age, spam, so we can't even go there. So today's topic is we've only just begun. It is I came up with it inspired by the Karen Carpenter song by the Carpenters, and the Carpenters, by the way, for those of you who are really younger than we are not people necessarily who build the houses. They were a music group way back in the day, and there's a song called "We've Only Just Begun." And I kind of printed out the lyrics too. I posted it on the page, but I just think that it's important that we understand when we're trying to navigate this journey, and we're all at different stages in our journey, we're all at different places in our lives in this journey that we're traveling, and we're all at different points in our relationships, and some of us may have lived in this moment for a year. Some of us may have lived there for 5 years. Some of us may have lived there for 10 years. And especially when you've been in it longer and longer, you're like, how do I ever start over? How do I ever start over? Where's that moment that I can start over? And it is important that we learn to leave the past in the past. We can learn from the past, but you cannot relive the past. When you relive that past and bring up all that past behind you, you're never going to go forward. And I know that sounds terrible, and a lot of people are like, I've had people say, Stacy, what are you talking about? How can you mean this? He's done this or he's done that. Yes, they have, and yes, we have. And I've learned from doing this probably more about myself than I have about my veteran, that I had to make changes. I had to make changes within me, and I am a better person because of what I've learned. So, where I want to encourage you guys today, all of you that are at different levels, at different places, and you can go back and say, well, I've tried this, and he doesn't do this, and he doesn't do that. Make today the day that you've only just begun. Today is the day that you're only just beginning to live. Today is the new day of the rest of your relationship in this journey. So today's it. You can't go back to this is what he did, this is what's happening. It's been a culmination of things. And as long as you go back and live in that past, let me turn all my ringers on. As long as y'all go back and live in that past, you're never going to go forward. Okay? So that's where this song starts. And it says, we've only just begun to live. And it says, white lace and promises. And, as girls, especially, and I'm relating this to women, so I'm sorry if there's men on here that I'm offending. But as women, we are taught from the time we're little, we dream about weddings. How many times do you go somewhere, right? You go somewhere and you go to the kids aisle and there's like the dressed up bride thing. So from the time we're little, we dream about the perfect marriage, the perfect wedding, the Cinderella story. Those are all what we're taught. Those white lace and promises. That's what is inbred in us. So any variance from that makes us, good morning, Sunny, makes us not be on that path. Okay, so when you're here, you've only just begun. Take today and be that white lace and promises moment. You're gonna be able to define where your relationship goes. You guys, everybody says, oh, it's my veteran, he's got to play a part. He does. But you've got to define where this relationship is going. So we, together, me and Carl, only just beginning today to live today and tomorrow. Today was the first day of the rest of our lives. Okay, we can't go back to where we were a year ago. We can't go back to where we were yesterday. Today is that first day of our life. And then it goes a kiss for luck and we're on our way. If you start out your day with that concept that, we're going to take that step. Good morning, Colleen. We're going to take that step. We're going to get that kiss, take that step, and we're going to start living today in those white lace and promises. Um, so many roads to choose. That's in there. Due to the roads that we face every day, the roads that we face every day, we are standing every moment and all throughout our day at crossroads. And these are the roads that we choose every day. If we go down the same path day after day after day after day after day and want to not, it's the same freaking road. The same ruts are on the same road. So you have to stand there sometimes and say, okay, we're getting the same behavior because you're going to get to the same destination. We're getting that same behavior. But what can I do different to make the journey different today? What can I do differently to make this journey different today? What road am I going to take today to make my journey different? What road am I going to take to make my journey different? And that's where we step in on what we've learned over all this time and what we're working on learning to become better at ourselves. Where are we going to go? Where's our journey going to lead us? The definition of insanity, same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. So change that up. You're going to be there. You got to watch the signs along the way. That's in the lyrics. I think this is probably one of the most relevant songs ever written for us. For us. You got to look for signs along the way. One, you got to stop and smell the roses along the way. You got to look at the pretty stuff along the way. You have to do that. But you also have to look at signs along the way. So is what you're doing triggering them? If you see that what you're doing is putting them in a place, you can't just keep pushing through it. You may have to stop and have your little picnic lunch and then look and say, hey, is there another path I can go to get to the same destination? We live in a world full of GPS. And the hateful thing about GPS is it takes you the quickest, most direct route. So we spend more time on the interstate. There are times that I go somewhere that I will take interstates out and I want to go the back roads. So, but we're still getting to the same place. So sometimes we have to get off that super highway. We have to get off that highway, that quick fix highway, and we have to take the back roads, and we have to appreciate the little things. We have to appreciate the little things. There's an antique store down the road from us. It's actually between my house and Shauna's house from behind the service. And we go by it, and I remember taking her there the first time riding by the sign. And I said, you've got to see this sign. It is great. And it says, dead people's things for sale. Right, so it's like an old estate antique place, and that's what they have. Good morning, Nakia. That's what they have is a sign that says "Dead people things for sale," and we never would have seen that had we have gone down the interstate. You never would have seen that little sign had we have gone down the interstate. Some of the best restaurants in the world are the little places on the back roads. But we're so busy getting on that super highway to get us from point A to point B. When we're talking about roads, no, we can take those other roads. We can take a minute and stop and take those other roads. So when that trigger appears, when you see that you're not getting somewhere, good morning, Marianne. When you see that you're not getting somewhere, stop for a minute. Just stop for a minute. Take a breath for a minute. Take a breath. Breathe. Revamp where you are. Sometimes it's as simple as walking out of the room. Be careful now again when you walk out of the room, don't say I'm done. Because remember, their mindset is done is done. You know, I can't have this conversation right now. I need a minute. Nakia and her stop sign. Nakia takes the back roads where there's stop signs along her way. Okay, she uses that theory and it works for her. But this is a journey, and you guys are going to need to enjoy this journey. Is it a lot of work? Yes, it's a ton of work. You know, we're getting ready to go Friday morning. My mom has Disney Vacation Club points, and without being able to use Disney last year, she has tons. And so we always meet with family and friends from New York that I've known since I was 5, and we vacation together once a year. Well, we didn't do it last year, obviously, because of COVID, so we're going now, right? And I'm thinking about this journey, and we've got to start packing, and we've got to start getting ourselves together. So this is the same thing. We have an end result, which is to get to this place. But sometimes you have to prepare and you have to pack. Good morning, Michelle. So you got to take the back roads sometimes. It's not all about getting on the main highway. It's about enjoying the little things along the way that you would never see. So we prepare ourselves by learning what we've learned. It's like packing your luggage, right? Right? It's like packing your suitcases. What we've learned about ourselves is like packing your suitcases. Sometimes when you take that journey, you have to stop. You got to smell the roses. You got to stop at the stop sign. You're standing at a crossroad. Are we going to go down the same path through the same ruts and expect a different results? Or are we going to try a new route that's going to detour us around to get us there? And when you see, just like seriously, because you see it now and you're able to change your reaction. And when every action has a reaction. So if you are acting the same way and you want a different reaction, right? And you want a different reaction, you're not going to get it if you're acting the same way. Every action has a reaction. So change your action will change your reaction. We've missed you too. So I thought that was kind of important. Talking it over, just the two of us. And it goes on, working together day by day. And that is important. Marianne just said that she just took a media cleanse. They needed to talk. You have to communicate with your veteran. You may be talking to the wall for a long time, but you have to communicate. And when you start doing that, and just you guys, not you and social media, not you and the dog, not you and the TV. You have to talk. And I don't care if it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes more than you talked the day before. Don't think that we're going to wake up today and we've so many people say, oh, well, I've watched this and I've tried this and it doesn't work. Well, that's beautiful, and it won't work for everybody. Everybody's different. That's key. Okay? That's key. Everything that we talk about, what works for me may not work for somebody else. That's why we get input. Like Nakia and her stop sign works for her. Okay, these are all keys, and we try different things as we're going. But the key is you have to talk to them. And it may not be sit down and have a 45-minute or an hour conversation. It may be that you get your conversation in a 5-minute conversation till you learn to talk. And you know what? Again, go back to your victory wall. For those of you who are struggling, get on your victory wall plan. Get on that victory wall plan. If you talked 5 minutes of productive conversation today and you had 0 minutes of productive conversation yesterday, that is a victory. When communication is broken down, speak only 3 to 5 minutes at a time. After 5 minutes, it's no longer a conversation, it's an argument. And that is so true, Nakia. So learn that. Learn those keys, but you have to talk it over day, every single day. You have to talk every single day. You may not be able to talk about the big issue that you're having going on, but you have to talk every single day because it becomes habit. And we want that to become a habit. We have ignored for so long, right? We have ignored for so long things and bad skills, life skills, communication skills have taken over because we too are living with the path of least resistance, that it's become habit and we've become enabling, and you can't do that. So now we have to relearn the good. Relearn how to do something. Make it a habit. 21 days makes it a habit. 21 days. That's what the experts say. 21 days make it a habit. And when the evening comes, we smile. So much of life is ahead. When you sit down at the end of the day and you look at what your victories have been, you need to relish in them and smile, because you're just exactly what Nakia said. Nakia and I must be talking about the same words today. Your smallest accomplishments are truly huge milestones. Those little things add up. Those little itty bitty things add up. You know, you go to where a river floods, right? That river is down to normal and it rains. And the river starts to rise a little bit. It doesn't just go from zero to overflowing the banks with one drop of rain. It takes multiple drops of rain and runoff to create it to flood. So the same thing happens with us. You're not going to change it today with one drop. It is that continuation that's going to get you there. It is every little thing that's going to get you there. And at the end of the night, before you go to bed, I don't care how bad your day has been, look at the moments that were good. Focus on those moments that were good. That's going to get you to the next day. And so when you think about that, it says there's so much of life ahead. Y'all, we have life. We are not sentenced. This is not a life sentence. This is not a, this is going to be the rest of my life. I'm going to be imprisoned in this world. Okay? I'm going to be imprisoned in this world. You can't do that. This is not a sentence that you have. You have life ahead of you, one step at a time. Marianne, you sick in a dark place on Friday, and we did a few things. He's never said this before. I'd remember the small victories. I was like a deer in the headlights. And that's true. And I find that with Carl. He comes into me and is like, but you did this. But you did this. And it becomes huge. So just remember that. And you're gonna find a place where there's room to grow. Right now, you may not be in a place in your relationship where you think there's any room to grow. But there is always room to grow. No, there is always room to grow. There is always room to get better. When you think you've got it all, you don't. I was talking to Michelle this morning and I said, it's funny because I go back and I look at where we were a year ago in our communication. And we have busted through those walls. We have dealt with PTSD. We know what's PTSD. We know what's relationship. We communicate 90% of the time incredibly well. And then it's like fine tuning things. There's these little things that still come up. Do we still argue? Absolutely. Do we still disagree? Absolutely. Are we where we were a year ago? Absolutely not. So don't think that when you break that initial set of walls down and you can start to communicate that everything is going to be perfect every minute of the day, because it's not. But what happens is you've learned skills that let you address the bigger things as they start to arise. And now you have a partner and you're not doing this alone. And you're going to find that that happens. You're going to find that that happens. And that is huge. Communication is everything. You don't have to agree. You have to learn to communicate. Yeah, traveling through the murky waters of PTSD has helped Nakia navigate the waters of a terminal illness. PTSD is not acute, it's chronic. That means it's a lifelong illness. You still have to deal with it your whole life. We still have to deal with it all the way through. It's the way it works. Sharing horizons that are new to us. I think that is such a great line. Because when we've lived the life we've lived and we've allowed this routine to happen, this enabling to happen, this comfort to happen, this path of least resistance to happen, when we get to a point that we can communicate and we can start to share horizons that are new to us, are they scary at times? Yep. Are they beautiful at times? Absolutely. But the thing is that they're not just new to you. They're new to him too. They're new to both of you. So when you get where you're communicating and where you're starting to develop your relationship, because you're beginning your relationship, the rest of your relationship with your veteran starts today. So you're going to share those horizons together today. Are they always going to be smooth and beautiful? No, they're not. But as you decide that you're going to do this and you're going to begin your relationship today, you may have had a relationship. I've had a relationship with Carla. Every single day we start a new relationship. We get better at it every single day. You have to live your life with this. We've only just begun. Okay? You have to live your life with this. We've only just begun. It is very important that we learn to do that. But it says working together day to day. And that's what you're going to find is this is working together. Your actions will change their reaction. And all of a sudden, they start to see it, and it slowly comes around. And then you realize you can now work together. And then it becomes a safe place for them to talk. I know that probably the last 10 months, it's been Stacy talking about how she feels. And when Carl tries to open up and bring up how he feels, I shut him down. And I never realized it till the other night when we were really having a conversation. And it was over something really stupid, like how to heat up my dinner. I don't know, I'll figure it out in a minute. Well, that isn't what he was asking me. What he was asking me is, hey, I'm going to heat up your dinner for you because you're done. How would you like it done? Are you going to microwave it, put it in the pan? Because he doesn't do microwaves for whatever reason. But so, that's what he was asking. But that's not how what I heard. And so the communication fell apart and things got really into a thing. And finally, we started talking, and he said, you don't let me finish. I want to open up to you. I want you to know that I wanted to take care of you, and you keep shutting me down. I'm like, I don't do that. And he's like, yes, you do. And then he made me retrace the steps of the conversation. Well, can I tell you, when it comes time to retrace the steps of your own mistakes, I find that big old file cabinet of avoidance and I push everything into that big ass trash can of avoidance. So you have to respect and let them open up. And again, that's why we go back to the lamb chop song. And even he said that. Even he said the next day, I guess I was really beating that topic. I was like lamb chop. And we that has become our joke. I mean, that we've all talked about it. I have one up here because when they get started, sometimes they just want to dwell the point, but it's their way of communicating, and sometimes you just have to let them do that and not shut them off, because when you do, you are telling them that their opinion doesn't matter. So how are you going to allow communication to go on? So be careful. That's what we're talking about. Talking it over, working together. And of course, it goes to the end. And when the evening comes, we smile, so much of life ahead. We find a place where there's room to grow. And yes, we've just begun. That's key. When the evening comes, you're going to find that you and your veteran have made progress. And you're going to smile about it. And you're going to say, you know what, there's room for us to grow. There's room for us to grow. Every single day in your life, there is room for you to grow. Every single day in your life, there is room for you to grow. You're going to do it every day the rest of your life. And you're going to realize there's so much better ahead. And when you start knocking down the little walls, the big walls come tumbling down. I'm not saying that you don't have to climb over the rubble, because you do. What I'm telling you is that in the words of Karen Carpenter, we've only just begun to live. We have to learn to live our life that way. You have to get up and say, today is the day that I'm going to begin to live this life, the life I desire. Is it going to be where you are today to the white lace and promises that you dreamed of as a kid? Absolutely not. And y'all have heard me say this before. They talk about Cinderella and the glass slippers. Nowhere in the fairy tale does it ever finish to say that the slipper broke and cut her foot wide open, because that's the reality of life. There is no perfect relationship. There is no perfect marriage. There is no marriage without fighting or disagreeing. There is no marriage without frustration. Every single person, PTSD or no PTSD, goes through it. And if anybody says they didn't, they're lying. They have Pinocchio syndrome. If you think for 1 minute that every single person, that people go through relationships and never argue, never disagree, never do that. They are lying to you. So let's focus on that relationship. It's not all PTSD. That was probably the hardest thing for me to learn, because you could blame crappy relationship skills on PTSD. It wasn't me. I wasn't the one vomiting. My vomiting venom everywhere and yelling and screaming had nothing to do with our relationship being bad. My telling him to get out when I got frustrated and angry had nothing to do with our relationship being bad. All of that had nothing to do with our relationship being bad. It was all PTSD. Bullshit. Bullshit. It was relationship. PTSD is part of our life, absolutely, but it is not our life. We stop putting it there, they will stop leaving it there. Right? I love you, Elisa. Yeah, I need to read the real version. Only when we allow it. So today is your day till we've only just begun. Today is the day that your relationship starts, and it will start every single day, over and over and over again, every single time, over and over and over again. That's what happens. Every day is a new day. Every day is putting that reset button and saying, we're going to start again today. We have new stuff. So the old stuff comes rolling back in at times. Okay, it does. It does. But it's our new day. And that's where we all have to focus. We all, myself, everybody has to do it. There's no perfect relationship. There's my relationship with him. My relationship with him is our relationship. It is different than Michelle's is with Damon. It is different than Sarah's is with Jason. It is different than Elisa's is with Lane. It is different all the way around. All the way around. And that's what happens. We all have different relationships. And none of them are perfect. So make your commitment to today to be the day you've only just begun. Make your commitment that today is the day that we've only just begun. Take all of the crap out. Yes, Sarah, you were in such a different boat with the TBI too. And there are other people that have that memory loss. Really can't control a lot of what's going on. That's why I think it's so critical that you listen to AJ tomorrow night, because he's going to give you new hope and new light and new insight, and I'm so excited for that for y'all. So I just want to say, y'all, thank you for being here. We are growing immensely. Again, I cannot thank Sarah enough for the videos. There's a few challenges that we have ahead of us. We're the nonprofit who's struggling, and thank everybody for every donation they have made. Bracelets are in the mail, so that you guys should be getting them momentarily. Anybody who's ordered bracelets, give it a few days. They're all in the mail, so I just want to tell y'all that. There's some things that we can do. Sarah has really busted her tail getting those videos on. Please go and subscribe to that channel. We have 300 and some people in this group. Go subscribe to that channel. And I'm going to actually put some directives out there, some call to actions that are only going to help us grow as a group. and financially be able to add on the things that we need to add on through sponsors and whatever. But go subscribe to that channel and watch them all the way through. If there's something positive in there, write a positive review. If you like what's going on, be on our Facebook page, not just this group. Make sure you like and share the Facebook page itself and write a review. And there's a place where you can do that. Write a review. When you're in other groups and there's something that they need answered, and if you find these videos helpful, get them to other people. Click that link. Share that link with them. Have other people watch them. The more we do of that, the more, it's called growth, the more important it is. The more important it is that we do that, because it builds quality. I can't tell you how many messages I got in a day that thank me. I'm not Superwoman. I just put my life out here because I don't know when to shut my mouth. But if these thank you messages will go to the Facebook page under review, not the group, because the group is private. We do that for a reason. And two, for those of you that are in this group, as of today, I'm going to put this out here, but I know that some of you have spouses that are in the group as well. Elisa, myself did. Damon's on here as well. I'm pulling all the spouses out of the group. I'm going to send them all a little note and explain why. This has to be our safe place. This has to be our safe place. So I'm going to pull all the spouses out of here. I think that's it. Do not forget, I'm going to put the link up right now. Come pop on if you have a few minutes for Behind the Service podcast. They are starting their TBI series. The group we're in now, the Loving My Veteran, what's it called here? I don't know. Loving My Veteran group with PTSD. There's the Loving My Veteran page, which everybody can be part of. And then the group itself, which is a private group, I'm pulling all the spouses out of for a reason. I just think that we have to have that place to be able to vent safely and comfortably on our own. So I just want to put that out there. So I'm going to put the, not the like page, no. I'm going to send it all out, Sarah, so everybody will know where to click, where to do, what to touch, so we know, because that's going to be the way that we really make them monetize. We do. I can change that logo actually right now. I'll do that right now as we're talking about that. It will take me 5 minutes. Yeah, Marion, text me your number again. I'm sure it's in my phone, but I change phones. So text me your number or message me your number, and I will give you a call in a little bit. I've got to do that thing at 10, so I can either squeeze it in before or after. I had an amazing conversation with Ann yesterday, and Ann is going to come and share with us. She's a Gold Star mom. She lost her son, but she's going to come share with us her story. Her story is amazing. So I'm going to put all that out there. If you guys will please do that. Like I said, money is not as important as promoting. We need help promoting, and that's probably our biggest thing. So anyway, if you like what we do, you may not even like what we do. You may not want to share this with anybody. So who knows? If you like what we do, share this. I'm Stacy. This has been Walking My Shoes. We're Loving My Veteran. We are not paid counselors. We're not professionals, and everything is copyrighted to us. To Loving My Veteran, and if you need professional help, please reach out and get it. And I will talk to y'all today in coffee in just a few minutes, and again tomorrow. Bye.